Hello everyone, this is Risky Lizard. This is a follow-up guide to my Day 1 verse guide. This one is going to cover the construction day of verse. It's currently our Age of Science day, but this is going to cover base expansion. I wasn't originally going to make this video, but a lot of our members were struggling with it, so I thought I'd just put out kind of what my strategy was to at least open my 9 boxes. I didn't exactly exceed anything in the way of, glamorously scoring 20 million points, but I was able to open my 9 boxes with my strategy, and I'm mostly free to play at this point when it comes to things that give you verse points. I put my money in other things that do not give me verse points. They focus more on heroes. So just going through the things that count for base expansion day, using 1 minute of construction speed up for me because my tech research for Verse or Alliance Duel is maxed out. I get quite a few extra points, so these green numbers are my improved total points. So if yours do not match this, that's why. You need to max that out as soon as possible to make this easier for you. But using speed ups is kind of the last holdout for getting verse points. You want to do everything else that you can to avoid using construction speed ups, because you'll inevitably run through almost all of your construction speed ups that you get throughout the week. That you haven't used on Arms Race, for example, and you don't want to dip into your universal speedups too much because you want to use those for tech research if at all possible. And the next thing is increasing building power. This is kind of your thing that you can do throughout the week. So for increasing your building power, you can go to any building that you want to build. For example, this one's level 22. Let me see what this one is at. This one's at 21. So yeah, if I wanted to build this one, normally I would apply for the capital buff here, Secretary of Development, and once I am on the auto appoint list, not the application list, but on the auto appoint list, and my name is listed there, I can monitor when I'm going to be getting that buff here in my clock tower. And right now I'm applying for the Secretary of Science buff, and you can see that I am on this list and my time is coming up, and it tells me what time I'm going to get at server time. But for me that's pretty confusing, so once you're on the auto appoint list, my recommendation for people, if you don't already know, is to come here. You could switch this timer up here between local and server time and get your actual local time for when you're going to be getting the buff. So with that said, I apply for the Secretary of Development buff to get the construction speed of 50%, and if you have a dominated capital, it'll be 60%. But you want to apply for that buff typically for any building that is going to take more than a day to build, because at most you're probably going to have to wait a few hours to get that buff, but that can take several hours off of this timer. The other thing that can take time off of building is having better builders in your hut, but you can't really do anything about this. This is the time that is deducted the second that you start building, and then the next thing that you can do are your lawyers, which again you don't really have control over, but putting your best lawyers in your Alliance support hub to get the total number of helps, as many as possible, and to get the best help time that you can per help. So this is basically per help that you get, you're going to take 12 minutes and 28 seconds off. So, 26 times 12 minutes and 28 seconds, whatever that number be. Okay, so let's say on construction day or throughout the week, what you want to be doing is applying for the capital buff for construction. Again, I'm not doing that right now because I'm on the research list. This is research day. But you go here, you build your stuff, you click help, and then on the status of the building, if you hit the speed up button up here at the top right, you can monitor how many helps you have. This is all pretty common knowledge. Once this is maxed out, that's usually the good point where you're going to want to click instant speed up. It'll tell you your speed ups that it's going to use, and you can see here it's going to use a bunch of construction speed ups and one of my universals. You can also go down here and manually just use construction speed ups if you're trying to save your universals like I am. And if you're curious about how many speedups that you have, you can go to your inventory and go to the speedups tab and look, but this doesn't give you, a calculation of time from your inventory in any of these tabs. You can actually click down here on the bottom right on statistics and go to speed up, and it'll tell you the days. So this gives you an idea of just how many buildings you could possibly rush. And you want to be saving your construction speedups and your universal speedups and your research speedups as much as you can throughout the week. When the only time you want to use them is during Arms Race. And if you plan to buy any packs or anything like that for real money and not in-game currencies like alliance points, you want to always try to space your packs out, because any pack that has diamonds in it will actually complete your arms race for you right out the gate. So buy packs containing 1 diamond. Each diamond is 30 points. So for example, it's currently the research tech power. If I wanted to get the 30,000 points for this, I have the option to, go into one of these stores here, and I have the option to buy one of these. For example, like if I buy this pack for whatever reason, you can see up there at the top bar with this little badge, that's going to complete my arms race. So there, that one is why you would want to space out your purchases, because you can get easy arms race section wins by doing that. You never want to buy a ton of stuff all at once. You want to kind of space it out. So with that in mind, if you're making purchases, it makes it a lot easier to save your speed ups, so that I don't digress too far. And this can help you prevent from spending a lot of, training speedups, universal speedups, construction speedups, and research speedups throughout the week on arms race, so that when you get to this day, you can save them. But this is where you can view your speedups, and then throughout the week, you can slow build stuff, like I'm doing now. So construction day is over, so I'm not going to rush this building with construction speedups. I'm just going to let it sit there and cook. And once it's finished, it's going to go into a gift box. And the reason why you're going to leave everything in a gift box is because when you go to build something, you can see here that the power increased for this from 74,300 to 88,000, and that's about 13,700, if that's correct, yeah. And that power increase is going to be what counts for your verse on base expansion day. So for every 1 power you increase, you get 25 points. So for 13,700 points on that one building, if I open the gift box on the verse day, during the arms race that's city building also, I can double stack my points on that day. So that's going to be, just opening that one building would be a total of 342,500 points just for opening a building. So that's a lot when you're trying to get millions of points. So what you want to try to do is just save these gift boxes throughout the week so that you can maximize how many points you can throw up on a single day for base expansion. So this is the main strategy: building throughout the week, building some lower, cheaper buildings, and just leaving them in the box. And if you have a problem with accidentally clicking boxes, you can go into your settings, go into your general settings and scroll down here, and there is the construction confirmation. You can turn this off and turn it back on to reset it if you've turned it off for the day, or you can just turn it on and leave it on, so that when you go to click on one of these boxes, for example this one, it'll give you a pop-up saying, are you sure you want to complete the construction? If you click the don't remind me again and click confirm, you can go back in the settings and turn it off and then turn it back on, and this will come back. Otherwise, if you turn it off, it will turn it off just for the day if you say don't remind me again, and then the next day it will turn itself back on. So keep that in mind if you're having a problem clicking these, because I was. But beyond that, going into the first day for base expansion, there are other things you can do, like dispatching UR trucks. This is one of the few things I save my diamonds for, so that if I run out of trade contracts, I can always send this out. This is a ton of points. Based on the math, it's almost as much as that building that would have been completed for 300,000 points. And I can send out 5 trucks a day, so that's 1,000,000 points right there, just from trucks, just being able to make them gold. And then performing legendary secret tasks is another big one. For this one, it gets a lot easier at level 27 or VIP 12 when you get the mega refresh, but in your secret task menu here on the bottom, it'll say normal or it'll say mega, and this tells you what you're switching it to. So if I click mega, it's going to the mega refresh settings, and if I click normal, it shows you the normal view. From this perspective in normal, I recommend using all of your trade contracts first to try to make as many gold tasks as you can. As you make a gold task, send those out, and then use the refresh button again to make any blue or purple tasks you have also gold, and anytime you get a gold task, send it out first before you refresh again, and then you'll basically whittle it down to where you only have a few tasks left. And you can see here I've already finished 5 of these tasks, and I sent out these other 4. I almost ran out of trade contracts on my last refresh, but what I did is when I get down to 3 or 4 tasks, I usually run out of refresh contracts. So I go to Mega, and when I click Mega Refresh, it will spend either 4 contracts or 400 diamonds for every task that it will force to be gold. If you do this randomly, and you just click refresh per contract or refresh per 100 diamonds, you're running the risk of spending way more than necessary to make these gold. What the Mega Refresh does is it gives you a fixed value of either 4 contracts or 400 diamonds per task, and then it will force each task to be gold. So per task, it's either 4 contracts or 400 diamonds, whichever you have. So if you're out of contracts, it'll cost 400 diamonds. If you have 2 contracts left, like I believe I do, then if I had 1 task that I needed to use the Mega Refresh to force gold, then it would cost those 2 contracts plus 200 diamonds. Whatever amount will equal 4 to make them all gold. So you want to be making these gold every single day. The resources are just insanely better. Some of them give universal shards. Well, that's my starred task, but down here, like 1.4k skill medals, a universal hero shard, 55-minute speed ups, 5 level 2 drone chest components. Like some of these are particularly good. None of these are the upgrade ore ones, but you can get ones that have 800 upgrade ore. There's quite a big benefit to using these instead of the other ones. Plus you get these mysterious chests, which of course have a chance to also contain any of these items in them. And this adds up, especially the 5,000 diamond chance, which is very rare, but you're opening hundreds of these chests, so getting as many as you can, that'll definitely give you a lot more diamonds to work with on verse day. Not to digress too far again. But for base expansion, the last thing, apart from the legendary tasks, is the Recruit Survivor. And this one is kind of just, all you can do for this one is just throughout the week, trying to be buying the stuff from the stores for this. So I've already bought all of mine. I've got Survivor Recruit tickets right here. I've already bought all of those. I try to buy them all by that day, but even if you don't make it, just buy them all every week. Alliance points are free. They don't cost you anything to get them, just participation and time. And then in the campaign store, these aren't Survivor tickets, but I also buy the Legendary Recruit tickets here. And the only other place you can get Survivor tickets is in the VIP store down here. But I would only buy these if you have just an overabundance of gems or diamonds, like over 80,000 or 100,000. Because 10,000 diamonds is a lot for just 50 recruit tickets. To put it into perspective, you can get all 80 hours of these speed ups for 4,000. You can get all of these 60 hours of speed ups for 3,840. Like, you can already get a ton of speed versus just 50 Survivor tickets, which might come out to 1 legendary survivor, or should at least come out to 1 legendary survivor for you. But it's not going to do as much for you as getting the speed ups, for example. So this is very low priority and kind of the last thing I would buy as far as survivor tickets go. So you get plenty of survivor tickets from doing Doom Elites on the world map. If you click search, you can go to the Doom Elite section and pick whatever level Doom Elite you want. But here you can see you get survivor tickets, or you get legendary recruit tickets. So anytime you're doing the stamina arms race, you can basically just focus on doing Doom Elites. I don't recommend doing the zombies, so the drone boost is next, so I'll be doing my stamina then, and then that'll help me get survivor recruit tickets for this particular day on base expansion. So that pretty much sums up how I do prepare for my base expansion day. And again, the most important thing you can do throughout the week is just save these buildings in gift boxes. And for your arms race, focus more on using your construction speed ups, because this will be the easier thing. Try not to pop your gift boxes for arms race, even though it's easier. Try to use the construction speed ups, because I feel like that's the better deal, in my opinion. But apart from saving as many gift boxes as you can for the following week, especially big ones like headquarters, always open these on your base expansion day, because the amount of power that you're going to get from these types of buildings are just huge. So keep that in mind. But other than that, that's all I have for the base expansion video. If you have any questions on this one, I'm happy to answer. Otherwise, thank you.